COP19 is a COP that would lead us all the way to 2015 and to the agreement expected in 2015. In 2015, we're expected to come up with a third enhancement for the regime on climate change. As you all know, the first enhancement we had was in 1997 when we did have the Kyoto Protocol. And then a second enhancement was when we started in 2008 to also enhance the Kyoto Protocol. But everybody knows that we did not come to conclusions in Copenhagen on that enhancement. Then the parties have started a new process to build a new convention with a different approach. And the new approach is called a bottom-up approach. And that approach is basically to change from a target and timetable type of agreements to agreements that would have to be done at home. And then as we go in time, and as we understand the different circumstances of different countries and their priorities, then we build up to a future agreement. Now, the first step in that agreement is basically going to be in Paris in 2015. And this is where they agree. But that agreement will not start until the year 2020. And then at that time, we would have our third enhancement of the regime. The interesting thing about that third enhancement is that you will have in it developing countries taking also some kind of actions to help also in addressing climate change. So this is what's so interesting about this. And to build for that, the road for that starts here in COP19. Saudi Arabia, since the start of this whole climate discussions and the climate regime, the main objective behind all its involvement is to make sure that we don't divert away from the questions of sustainable development. Sustainable development is a concept that we have all agreed on in 1992 in Rio. And basically that concept is built on three pillars. Basically, economic development, social development, as well as environmental protection. We have, as a kingdom, moved along that direction, looking at the international community's move. We moved and we have done a lot of work in that area. We have really done so much in building sustainable development in the kingdom's development. And as a matter of fact, that work that we have done under the sustainable development umbrella is very much work that is also in line with the requirements that is there in the Convention and the Kyoto Protocol. Even before we come to COP19, Saudi Arabia already took the strategic decision to look at its economic diversification, since the economy of the kingdom would be very much impacted by policies and measures that will be taken by climate change. So the kingdom, in the basis of that, have started before coming to this COP. In 2005, the kingdom became a partner in the carbon capture and storage. And then later on, we have also started a program on looking at the energy efficiency. A third area that we have looked at is carbon management. And all this has been programs or initiatives that have started way before coming here to COP19. So COP19 is nothing but for us to go back and reevaluate what we have and push further in these initiatives. The expectation that in COP19, parties would have to have an initiative or a decision that they need to go back home and do national consultations on how they want to move forward in the future agreement in 2015. If that decision is made in here in Warsaw, it means we have a lot of work at home. We really need to go back home. We really need to bring in the sectors, all the sectors, and we need to discuss with them our plans and the way forward on how we want to deal with this agreement and all its requirements for the period beyond 2020. So we do have a lot of work, as a matter of fact, between now and Peru. And we want to make sure that that work is, number one, is contributing to the convention objectives and its work. But number two, is also in line with our priorities, our national circumstances, and as well as our programs that we have. Both in all areas, whether it is mitigation, adaptation, or even response measure. We want to look at all these issues in an equal basis.